Hey,
Hi,
how
how
are
are
you?
you?
I'm good.
I'm doing good too. Welcome to Dude That's Fucked Up, y'all. I'm Erin.
I'm Nicole. Uh,
How's
so
everybody doing?
yeah, how's everybody doing? I'm very
Hope
tired.
everybody in Hope everybody in Hawaii's okay
Oh my
after
God.
that fucking bullshit.
Everyone just like scrambled to get somewhere
Can you
safe and you
imagine?
didn't have to.
Can you fucking imagine
Well,
that? I kept reading that people were like terrified. Like,
Well, because it's like it could actually happen now. Like if that Pete was like, oh, if this would have happened like 3 years ago or something.
if you guys don't know what we're talking about, like
Oh yeah.
just a few hours ago, before we were recording this on Saturday, the people in Hawaii received a emergency alert on their cell phones saying that a missile had been launched and to like seek shelter immediately. Like, can you?
What would
that
you
is.
do? What would you do?
I would find a bomb shelter because there's multiple in DC.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah,
Oh,
yeah, like a fallout shelter.
yeah.
I'd probably just go like down in the metro or something. I don't know.
Mm.
Or I just like hunker down in my like very downstairs bathroom and
Yeah.
pray.
Because you have like your bottom floor is like kind of underground.
Yeah. Yeah,
Be-
it's like a basement kind of style
I
situation.
would not want to be trapped down in the subway if something happened.
I know.
Like,
I
no,
know.
what if you're like stuck? I'm like claustrophobic though, so it wouldn't be like a good sitch. I don't
I
know.
just like I don't know. I have no idea. It's so scary.
I saw that downsizing movie yesterday because I had like 4 hours to kill, and
Oh, really?
I have a movie pass, and it was starting. It was between that and Jumanji, but I would have had to wait like another 40 minutes for Jumanji. So I was like, I'll just see this dumb movie, downsizing, which it was like okay, and it had cute themes,
It's
but
like such an interesting premise, but I heard they like totally fucked it up. Like
oh,
it could have been
maybe,
better.
yeah, I
Also, Matt Damon.
yeah, I know. I forget where I was going with this, but
So down, like, was there a bomb situation and downsizing?
no, there's definitely like a fallout shelter, but I can't remember if that's why I wanted to bring this up. Probably because
Oh,
that's like
yeah,
relevant.
yeah.
Anyway, yeah, there like oh, I know because there was like an option to go. I'm like spoiling it for everyone, but I doubt anyone cares. But
Yeah,
there
if you're gonna see a movie, go see I, Tanya.
yeah. Yeah. Or like Lady Bird is really good.
Yeah.
Uh but so he like basically his character had an option to like go down into this like fallout shelter or like stay out with the rest of the world, and he chooses to stay out. And I was like, yeah, I'd probably like it's uncertain, but you're out, you're free. So
But what's the
I
consequence?
there really wasn't
Certain death?
one. No, there was no, because they were just like, "Oh yeah, like the humanity's going to end at some point in the future." And they were like, "When?" And they're like, "Well, it could be hundreds of years from now."
Yeah,
And
that's
they're
like it's stupid. Yeah.
yeah.
Like
So,
that can happen any day
right.
here in
Yeah.
our present life.
That's always true.
time.
That's like living your life in a bubble cuz it's like, "Well, you're going to die someday." It's like, "Yeah, but you don't know when. So you might as well live
That's
your life."
why that's why you should live your life because you
Yeah.
don't know. It could end at
Exactly.
any moment.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway, sorry. I feel so bad for all those people in
Hawaii.
Hawaii that had to go through that because they didn't clear up the confusion for like a half an hour.
Oh my god.
And people were just like panicking. Like I was reading like a something where a lady, like her kids were staying over at a friend's house and she was like in full blown like panic mode trying to get to her kids.
Oh my god.
And she couldn't.
Was that on a podcast group?
I think so.
Okay, on Christine's podcast, and that's why we drink. Was it?
No, I saw it on
Oh, okay.
another one on Abe Lincoln's Top Hat.
Oh, okay. Okay, cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure that was like a lot of people's experience. Just like, fuck, like how,
Dude.
or just anyone who's like lives on the mainland who has relatives there. It's like
Ugh.
so scary.
And like when everybody freaks out and calls like 911 at the same time, like it just stops working and
Yeah,
your cell phones stop working and it's
they
just
all
like
get all jammed up.
yeah. Wild.
Oh my God.
Anyway,
Well, that's fucked up.
that's very fucked up. Anything personally fucked up?
Uh, well, I have like a
I'll go.
couple.
I'll go first.
Okay, I have a couple things. They're not big or anything.
Okay. Well, my thing is, it's not fucked up, but it's super cool. I went to the Frances Glessner Lee exhibit today.
Okay, I don't know
She's
what that is.
okay. This is the woman that in like the 1940, like 40s, she became like one of the first forensic experts, and she was a
Oh.
woman, so she was a fucking badass. So but what she did, what her thing that she did was she made these miniature crime scenes with such incredible detail.
Oh,
And
I've read about that, I think.
yeah, and so and her like miniatures are still used to this day, like for people who are like getting into like, any kind of field where they have to like any kind of what am I trying to say? Like any kind of criminology, and that
Oh,
could include
okay.
forensics, that could
Yeah,
include like detectives, like anything. So the detail is insane.
oh my God.
She knitted a pair of stockings for a quote unquote victim, like it's like a little miniature, of a person. She knitted a pair of stockings with like straight pins,
Oh my
and
God.
it's the detail is insane. I was blown away. I mean, the exhibit was packed. It
Okay,
was packed. It's
uh,
been in DC since October. So,
hot take
but
here.
it's leaving.
Hot
Yeah.
take. If
Yeah.
I was her boss and she was fucking knitting
Sh
baby
First of all,
stockings.
she did not have a boss.
Oh, well, if I was like a department she reported into or something, like if this lady came into work and was like, and here's the stockings I made last night with safety pins or whatever, I'd be like, the fuck? Like,
Well,
do you need
first of
more
all,
work?
she was an heiress. So, or
Oh,
like she like inherited a bunch of money. So she was just rich as fuck and was like, I'm going to do this with my life. And everybody's like, why don't you just want to like sit on your ass and be a socialite? And she's like, fuck that. I'm going to college and I'm becoming this like forensic person. So
she like,
fucking badass.
I bet she loves Polly Pocket.
I
Maybe
think Polly
she,
Pocket was inspired by
yeah,
her.
totally. Oh my
So
God.
if you want to learn more about her though, there's a good episode of Things You Missed in History Class
Oh,
that they talk about her. It's
does
pretty
she
cool.
have the nickname the Duchess of Dioramas?
Yeah, she should.
Uh, Trademarked, copyrighted.
Yeah. So yeah, that was my cool thing, but it was like so crazy how there's so many people that were, I mean, there was tons of children,
Wow.
like all these like older people who were just like sorry, my robot cat box is going. Sorry.
Oh, did the cat just shit?
Oh, just peed. He
Oh,
just
okay.
peed.
Oh, okay.
No, he's like watching it. He's like very fascinated by it. Anyway, so yeah, it was just cool to see all these people like into it, you know?
Yeah.
It was fun. Yeah.
Oh
So
my
me and my
gosh.
friend Maggie went. It was awesome.
Oh, that's fun.
So fun. Yeah.
Um,
Anyway, what's going on with you?
well, after we record, I have to go buy a lifelike dildo because I ordered one in the mail from Amazon for a sketch I have tomorrow, and it was supposed to come yesterday, and I was like, oh, it's gonna come today, and then it's like getting later in the day, and I'm busy like doing stuff, and then I'm like, oh yeah, where is it? Like, let me see if it's like out for delivery. It hasn't even shipped yet, and I was like,
Oh no.
so, and it was only $12, which was so great, and now I have to go to like a sex shop, an adult
Type.
store, yeah. But then I feel bad doing that because I'm buying it for like a joke thing. I feel bad. I feel like it's derogatory towards like the people that work there. Not that I'm like not sex positive and think it's cool people use that, but like I legit need one as a prop. So,
That's what they're there for too. Like
oh,
people
okay.
need props. Like
Yeah. I
it's
fe-
not just all sticking in your vagina or
yeah.
butthole.
Yeah, true
Like
that.
you might need it. You need it for a prop.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
yeah. So I'm going to go do that, but I'm like so tired and I'm very busy, but so I was I was working at the show last night at the theater at like super late, which I'm like older now and I don't stay out till 3 in the morning, but I that's
No.
like when I got home last night. Totally sobes. Um and like so I was working and the last show of the night basically is a comedy show where the entire audience is high, the entire cast performing is high, and they smoke a ton of weed and eat a ton of edibles while they do the show. And
How?
I don't. I guess if you're like if you're into that sort of thing, maybe you do it a lot. So it's like
Yeah,
you
you have a
know,
high
like
tolerance.
yeah. But I was like watching some of the comedy completely sober, and I was like, what is going on? And people were loving it. They just were like, oh, I couldn't even go in. I had to like go in and like, you have to like watch and make sure people are behaving and stuff, especially I guess at
Yeah.
that show. And so I went in and it was like it was just like the thickest cloud in there and stinky and my eyes were burning and I was like, I gotta get out of here. But it was weird. I don't know.
Yeah.
High people are
You're
funny
like,
to high people is what I've learned.
yeah, if you're not high, it's not the
No.
same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I know that one. Oh, so rough.
yeah, but
Are
I'm
you so
very tired.
tired?
Oh my god, I'm so tired because then I can't like sleep past 9 because I'm like not used to
You're
it.
wired. Yeah.
Yeah. So I
Mhm.
got up at like it was like almost 9 o'clock and made breakfast and coffee and stuff, and then I should have taken a nap at some point today, but I just had a lot going on. So whatevs. But I'm very
Well, here you
excited.
are. You made it.
Yeah, I'm very excited about our topic today. Uh
All right.
oh, I was gonna use a segue. Are we ready? We didn't do any
Yeah.
business. Do we need to?
Yeah, so business, let's see. We have the meetup on the 25th,
Mm-hmm.
which is a Thursday,
Of January.
of January. So that's literally in like 2 weeks. So
Yeah,
get ready, y'all.
less than 2 weeks.
I know. Yeah, so yeah, by the time this comes out.
Yeah.
Um, and then it's like in a week.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Crazy. Wow, time is flying. I just looked at the calendar and realized how far off I was. I'm so excited. I can't wait
Me
to
too.
see everybody.
I know.
And then I sent out t-shirts to people who have ordered them. So everybody keep your eyes peeled.
Oh my god.
Yeah, and that's I think all my business.
The t-shirts look so good.
Yeah, you should get yours. You should have gotten them today.
I know I didn't. I don't know what happened.
God damn it.
But I didn't get that fucking dildo either, so maybe it's caught up in the mail somewhere. Maybe they
Yeah.
scanned it and they're like, "This is a dick. We can't deliver it to this lady." And I say, "Yeah, you can."
You know how many dicks they deliver every day? USPS knows what's going on.
Or if they only knew.
Yeah, right? If they only knew how many dicks they were delivering. Oh, Lord. Let's keep it moving.
Yeah.
So you're excited about this topic. I'm excited about this topic
yeah.
because I did not know anything about it.
No,
But you did.
Yeah, my segue was gonna be, oh man, I'm so dead tired, but then it doesn't really have. I mean, we're gonna talk about a dead guy and like, but it's like that's not even relevant. I don't know.
So we're talking about an American icon today, actually.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. A
Yeah.
lot of people know this person, maybe that are a little bit older.
Our age.
Would be more familiar. Like I asked DJ if he knew who this person was, and he's like, I don't know who that is. So, which is shocking to me, kind of. But I think it's more of a California thing. I don't know.
I thought, didn't he grow up in California? Oh, or Oregon?
No, he grew up in Oregon.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it might be.
I don't know. It might be a little generational. We might be dating ourselves a little bit here, but today we're talking about Casey Kasem. He was his full name was Kamal Amin Kasem. He was born to Lebanese Druze immigrant parents. So, I did not know that about Casey Kasem.
No, me
had
either.
no idea. The Druze like religion and culture is like pretty interesting. So that was kind of cool to learn that. But the great thing about Casey Kasem is he's like this iconic radio personality. He's a disc jockey who is on the air for decades. He's like if you guys are into sports, I guess he'd be like the Chick Hearn or like the Vin Scully of like top 40 radio.
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah.
Like he had like this great voice and was just like had this iconic kind of style, I guess.
Ryan Seacrest like would not exist without Casey Kasem.
That's right.
Yeah. That's like who Ryan Seacrest tries to be now.
Well,
Or
he replaced him.
he what?
Ryan Seacrest
Oh,
replaced Casey
right.
Kasem
Yeah, yeah.
on the radio show. Like it
Yeah.
became something else, but we'll get to that later. But
Yeah.
yeah, so we're interested in Casey Kasem. I mean, his life is like very interesting, and he's a very cool person. But he
Mhm.
had a pretty weird and tragic later life.
Yeah. So weird.
It's so weird. I mean, it's just kind of sad, actually.
Yeah.
But before we talk about that, just wanted to like give a little background, just in case people who don't know who Casey Kasem is. Um, like your parents definitely know who Casey Kasem is. He was like
Mm.
majorly like popular in like the 60s, 70s, 80s. He started his like DJ on air personality kind of career, I think probably in the late 40s, early 50s.
Mm.
And then he was drafted into the army and he was sent to Korea. And he was like, during the Korean War, he was like a DJ announcer for the Armed Forces radio.
That's so cool.
Yeah, it's like Good Morning Vietnam kind of.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah, but he wasn't like that big of a character.
Yeah.
I would say, but like that was like what it was.
More
That's what he would do.
understated. He's more like
More understated.
Yeah, low
Very-
key.
He's like smooth and cool and chill. He has a very soothing voice.
Go ahead and do your impression of him.
I don't know that I could do it justice. I'll say, how about I say, okay, so he had this great, his catchphrase or his sign off
Yeah.
was,
If the
He'd
snake
say-
oil salesman comes out right now, what a
no,
delight.
it's not. It's not. It's not
Okay,
at all.
okay.
He'd say, "This is Casey Kasem signing off, saying keep your feet on the ground and keep reaching for the stars." That's not at all what he sounded like.
Casey, it's like, yeah, he had like a really nice radio voice, but then also he had like an interesting cadence with his
Yeah.
talk. Like, yeah.
It wasn't like over the top though. That's the thing. It wasn't like
No.
like you know how some radio personalities are like this?
Yeah.
He was not like that. He was
Yeah.
like very like kind of down to earth, I guess. So, but
keep your feet. I like want to do a Jimmy Stewart impression for some reason.
no.
But that's not even close. But it's like he's like, keep your feet on the no, that's not even keep your feet on the ground and keep reaching for the stars. But that's
And
not
keep
it at all.
reaching for the stars. Yeah, I don't know. It's like
I don't know.
it's not over the top at all. Like that's the thing
Yeah.
about it. It's like very like benign and easygoing, and
I can hear
think
it in
that's
my
why
head.
I
Yeah.
think that's why people really liked him though.
Yeah. He seems
So
cute.
yeah, so he started this radio show called American Top 40, which I think was like a television show that kind of like became this radio show.
Mm.
So think of TRL becoming an awesome radio show that ends up being on the air for decades and decades.
Yeah.
Which Ryan Seacrest basically hosts now, I guess.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, so that's basically his like claim to fame. And he also is the voice of Shaggy from Scooby-Doo.
Oh my gosh. That was
Yeah.
such a treat. I didn't even know
I did
that.
not know that. I did not know that. Isn't that crazy? And
Yeah.
he did the voice like up until like 2012 or something like that.
They can probably like through technology now, they could probably still have him being the voice because like you could
Yeah.
just mishmash it every which way. You know what I mean?
You could just use each individual soundbite and like map it all together.
Yeah. That's
Definitely.
crazy.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. And he was also like he seemed like a very good person. He was a very progressive person. He cared a lot about progressive politics. He donated lots of money to like I think he donated to Jesse Jackson's campaign when he was running like in the 80s or the 90s. Like he was a big supporter of a lot of different politicians through the years who are pretty progressive. So donated like tons of money to like different charities and founded like foundations. And he was definitely like an activist for for Arab people of all kinds. Like I think he was also like he did like cartoon voices too. He was a voice for a character in the Transformers cartoon. Do you remember that cartoon?
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
And he actually stopped working on that because they had like a lot of like kind of racist overtones about Arab people. And so he was
They
just
weren't
like,
even undertones. They were
no, they're
overtones.
overtones. Yeah. They're like just straight up racist. And he's just like, yeah, there's not a lot of good representation here. Do you think you can maybe like do something about that? And they just didn't. So he's like, yeah, I'm not going to do this anymore.
Oh, good for
And
him.
he spoke out a lot about like a lot of cartoons and like other things in like pop culture that were like very negative stereotypes of Arab people. So it was
Wow.
he was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Pretty cool guy. He spoke out a
Oh.
lot about against racism, and Jesse Jackson ended up becoming one of his personal friends. And he even like Jesse Jackson officiated his wedding with his second wife. So
Oh,
pretty cool.
we're gonna talk a lot about her.
Yep.
Um, if you were a radio personality, like what kind of voice would you have? Would it be like more, I guess, or it would maybe depend on the show and like what kind of network you were on and stuff. But would you have more
Sure.
of like an NPR voice or like shock jock or like more like Casey Kasem, like cheesier top 40s, like, mass appeal or like, um, 94.7 the
Delilah.
way.
Oh, I was gonna say Delilah. Do you ever listen to Delilah?
No.
I feel like maybe that's more of an East Coast thing.
Oh, okay.
There's like she's like a late night like call-in and she plays like love songs, and
Oh.
it's like who else who would do that? I think it
Art
was like
LeBeau.
Art LeBeau. Yeah, Art
I,
LeBeau.
and people always call in and they're like, I want to dedicate
Yeah.
this song to my honey in San Quentin. I haven't seen him in
Yeah.
3 years and I'm excited for him to
Yeah.
come home to his, and it's like, you're like, oh my God, they're talking about prison. They're
Yeah,
dedicating
no.
songs to people in prison.
I remember like always listening to like late night like oldies, and that's what Art
Yeah.
LeBeau is on, and he'd be like, and now we got a call from Priscilla, and she'd be like, yeah, I want to dedicate this song to my puppet, and it'd be like, I'm your puppet. Yeah.
I know.
It's like
It was always the same songs every week.
yeah.
Always and forever.
Forever. Yeah, it was like it was so good. Like lots of R&B, lots of oldies. Like
Yeah.
it's so good.
Oh God. What else?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one. Or reunited and it
Yeah.
feels so good.
Yes,
Ah,
exactly.
it was
Oh my
basically
God.
the same show every week.
Every single week.
Yeah.
It was like just all these like forlorn like people who had like gotten in fights with their like significant other, and were like, honey, come back, I'm sorry. And it's just like
Baby, come
these-
back.
yeah, or it'd be like the tears of a clown. It was like shit like that all the time.
Tears
Oh,
of
what
a
a
clown.
yeah.
Oh, I just thought it's. Oh, I listened to that show as recently as a couple years ago, and what's creepy now is like kids will call in and like
Yeah.
want to make a dedication. I think because like he takes so many dedications, because it's not like,
Yeah.
oh, so and so requested this song, we're gonna play it. It's like this person, 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 and in all these situations, he like goes through a list of like all these people, and then they all pick the same of like 10 songs because it's only there's only so
Oh
many
yeah,
songs.
yeah. They're like, sorry, that's not one of the options. Pick another one.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my God. They're like, do you want to listen to the Coasters or the Temptations?
Yeah, that's all we have left.
Yeah.
The other ones have been chosen and played.
Yeah.
No, sorry, we do have a wild card tonight. It's My Cherie Amour by Stevie Wonder.
That is my favorite Stevie Wonder song.
Really?
Yep. Sure is. Well, I don't know I think I'd probably have an NPR-ish voice
Yeah.
for sure.
Okay.
I like a low key, like non-hysterical.
How would you sound?
I would definitely get rid of a lot of the vocal fry. I'd have to even it out. I'd definitely have to take some voice lessons. I don't know. I don't know.
That was pretty good.
Something like that.
It's very
Yeah.
smooth.
Yeah.
And there's like a twinkling of positivity in it.
Yeah, you have to be uplifting
Yeah.
reporting the news somewhat. You can't be dour and,
Yeah.
depressing.
True
But
that. You have to
I
be
don't know.
nice and neutral.
Yeah, but I'd say like we are kind of shock jocks as it is.
Yeah, we talk a
Yeah.
lot about inappropriate things.
Mhm.
That would
But
definitely be the kind I am.
yeah. Yeah.
Like from Wayne's World, like handsome Dan, and then like that screaming guy. I'd be the
Yeah.
screaming guy.
Yeah. What is it? It's oh fuck, Handsome Dan and what is it's like the ant not the animal, but
Oh yeah, 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 yeah. It's
what is
something.
it?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't remember.
I just love that
And
they're
then
all what?
and then
Go.
Handsome Dan is just like the ugliest person ever. So good.
All right.
Anyway,
Let's talk about
um
this. Let's talk about the shit that goes down.
yeah, so he has this like really wonderful career. He's well respected. He he he's married for a while to his first wife. I don't have her name written down because that's kind of a blip on the radar, but he ended up having 3 children with her.
Yeah.
Um, but he got married a second time to this woman named Jean Thompson in 1980,
Mhm.
and uh she's like
Actress.
I would say a washed up actress.
Yeah,
I
like
don't
a
think
not uber successful actress.
not a successful actress. Like she was on Cheers, I think,
But
for
like it was like
a
it
few
was like a
episodes.
supporting role. It was like someone's wife.
Yeah. And I mean she's very beautiful, but she's just like one of those people who are just like really like kind of dime a dozen, I guess.
Yeah.
And yeah, couldn't really make a very successful acting career happen. But I mean, I guess if you watch Cheers, you would see her on it
Yeah.
every now and then.
Which is the opposite of like Lillian? Wasn't that Frasier's wife? I don't
I
know. There was
don't
like
like
someone you
Frasier,
never
so
saw. Oh yeah, there was like someone you like never. There was a character Lilith
Lilith,
that
yeah.
you never saw. But maybe that was just in his show and not on Cheers. I don't know. Fucking Cheers. Who cares? I don't know what I'm talking about. But
Yeah.
I looked this lady up because we're reading mostly about her pretty recently because like he died in 2014. We'll just say.
Yeah. Well, he
So
was old.
he was old. He was like 82 when he died. That's old.
Yeah.
And so he so it was like pretty recent and I just was like looking up who she was and stuff when we were researching, and she is reminiscent of Anna Nicole Smith, like
Yeah, she's like that kind of
looking person.
look like buxomy, very blonde, very
Yeah.
kind of just blousy
Yeah.
maybe is that a word? I don't know.
Like she looks like a blouse.
No, it's like it's like kind of she's just like kind of I don't know.
She's like flowy and sheer.
No.
She's very light. She's dry clean only. Um yeah, very like
She's like
oh.
loud and attention seeking.
Yeah,
Like
yeah, yeah, yeah.
kind of like that's what blousy means.
Oh, okay. But like physically looking, she's like the like trashy Marilyn
Yeah,
of Anna
yeah.
Nicole Smith.
Yeah. So yeah, so but they, it seemed like they had a pretty like normal marriage from outside appearances. Like they were married for a long time.
Till he died.
Till he died, yeah. And they
They
got married in 1980 and then they had a daughter whose name is Liberty.
she's
Very
like probably 30 now.
yeah.
Oh, very American. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, yeah, it's a cool name. But yeah, all in all seemed to have a pretty chill life.
Mhm.
And like he had made tons of money from his American Top 40 that he did for decades and decades.
Yeah, because
So
they syndicate it. So it's like if you
yeah,
listen to Ryan Seacrest now, like on Sunday, whenever they do American Top 40, people in like Madison, Wisconsin are also listening to that exact same program because it was pre-recorded and
Right.
it's played to sound like it's live. Like,
Yeah.
there's a lot of stuff that actually on the radio, like Ryan's Roses is total bullshit. But it's like all pre-recorded and it's like acting essentially,
Yeah.
and they make it feel like it's real.
Well, like any episode of Car Talk now is like is like an old episode because the one of the brothers died.
Oh, I
Like
don't even know what that is, but
it's just a show on NPR. It's like
oh,
these two brothers, Click and Clack, the Tapper brothers.
oh,
They people call in with problems with their car. It's a funny show.
oh,
It's really
okay.
cute. And one of the brothers died like 2 years ago. So, but they still play Car Talk like on NPR on like Saturday or Sunday.
Well, it could
So,
still be relevant. I was just thinking,
yeah.
like, even Loveline, I'm pretty sure they could play that,
Oh yeah.
and it would. I mean, people still get gonorrhea, and
Yeah,
people's boyfriends still leave.
rebroadcasts. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
so it's still relevant.
People
Cars
still
are
ask
relevant.
if they could get pregnant from blowjobs. So
Yeah, so they'll need to be playing those forever until we die out as a
yeah,
species.
exactly. Oh
Because for
god.
some reason or another, people don't fucking learn.
Nope. Oh man. Yeah, so it seemed like everything was fine in his life, but he was eventually diagnosed with Parkinson's, but
Yeah.
that didn't end up being an accurate that wasn't the actual disease he had. He had
Oh.
yeah, he had sorry, I had it pulled up and then I clicked off of it. He actually ended up having Lewy body dementia,
Oh.
which is often really difficult to differentiate between that and Parkinson's. So
Oh, okay.
it's just a form of dementia, and either way, it's fucked up. It's a really not a good way to uh, dwell in your later years.
Yeah.
So
Getting old sucks.
yeah, but yeah, so he's has this form of dementia, and he starts to decline.
Yeah.
And that was like I forget when exactly he was diagnosed, what year, but starting to decline. So
Yeah.
oh, he was diagnosed in 2007. Sorry.
Yeah, because he worked he worked pretty far
Yeah,
into the 2000s.
he retired from the radio show American Top 40 in 2009. That was like
Yeah.
the top song that
Wow.
he signed off with was Hey Ya by Outkast.
Whoa.
I just
Good
listened to the
factoid.
Yeah, I just listened
Great.
to the final broadcast.
Oh, you
Yeah.
did?
Mhm.
Great trivia question.
Yeah. Mhm.
That's a
If
good
you're
trivia
ever
question.
playing trivia,
Yeah.
that was his last song that he signed off with.
Wow.
Yeah. So, yeah, so he has this horrible diagnosis, and
Yeah.
then he's like, doing okay, but then things start taking a turn for the worse in 2013.
Yeah.
And then I will allow you to give all the information because this is where I
Oh.
stopped doing my research.
I was just gonna let you roll, but okay.
No,
Um,
I want to hear it from your now you do the later
okay,
life.
yeah, because I put a lot of thoughts in here. Just
Yeah.
because this is where the story picks up, and I got emotionally invested.
Yeah.
Because I remember all of this stuff happening, and it's fucking crazy. So
Yeah.
in October of 2013, there's like some beef between Anna Nicole Jean and and his kid. Well, his kids, but mostly his eldest daughter, who's named Carrie. And
From his
so
previous marriage.
from his first marriage, yeah. So
Yeah.
this is like, she's probably our age and or older, and like, yeah. So she's like been trying to see her dad. She hasn't been allowed to see him for 3 months because Anna Nicole Jean is like kind of like fighting her or whatever, like not allowing her to come over. So
What the
they
fuck?
I know, it's fucked up. So she's like, "Oh, elderly abuse." So she tries to build a case. She protests outside of his mansion in Beverly Hills or whatever.
Yeah. All three of the
Hollywood.
kids did
Yeah, and they brought the police
because
and like news and stuff. They brought like media and it like made it into a thing.
dude.
Because they're like, we want to see our dad.
Yeah.
Something's wrong. And so the police got involved. They didn't find any um like evidence of elderly abuse. So they're like, oh, because Carrie was like, oh, I want to be the conservator. Like she wanted the conservatorship of his estate and his well-being. Because
Yeah.
when you're old, and especially if you have dementia, someone needs to be making decisions on your behalf. Usually it's your spouse, but they were like, well, she's not letting us see him. Something's weird. It should be us. And they were like,
Yeah.
sorry, it's fine.
Ugh.
So, so then a few months go by and it's May of 2014 now. So, I'm not sure when this happened, but um his wife moved him into a home, like a
Yeah.
convalescent home in Santa
Yeah.
Monica. Probably
Okay.
pretty nice and like
Oh,
good,
anything in Santa
yeah,
Monica, I'm assuming
good
is
care.
good care, yeah. And
Yeah.
he's like a millionaire,
Yeah.
so
Way multi.
uh-huh. Yeah.
Um, and so he's in a home, and on May 7th, um, Anna Nicole Jean breaks Casey out against doctor's orders. So, like,
Yeah.
he was on tubes, like he was on like machines and stuff.
Yeah, he had like a feeding tube that was like surgically implanted into him
Yeah,
because he couldn't eat normally. Like he had to have like intravenous like fluids and stuff.
yeah,
And they were like, you can't move him.
yeah.
Like
Or you
he's like hooked up.
shouldn't.
You should. Well, they were
Yeah,
like, it's life threatening to move him. Like
yeah.
if you move him, he will. It's not going to be good.
But I think she was
Um.
probably like, "Oh no, well, because she's like, oh, we'll take the equipment. We're just gonna go to back to the home where he's comfortable. I miss him, whatever. Like, whatever. They like she tried to make it so that it's like not a big deal. Except
Yeah.
she like 4 days later, after she takes him out of the convalescent home, she fucking road trips it to Las Vegas with two. It's like they caravan and two SUVs.
Dude. And just to be clear, like, she just took that equipment because all the people in the
Yeah,
home were like, you shouldn't move him without all the things that he needs to survive. And she's like, oh, okay, then I'll just take it. And they're like, okay. They're like, we don't want this man to die, so
yeah,
I guess just take it. She basically fucking stole that shit.
dude.
This bitch.
This bitch. Also like elderly abuse, volume 1. Like, let's all talk about how like
What the fuck do you need to go to Vegas for?
okay, and you guys, they didn't even do like fun Vegas. First of all, they go in two different SUVs. He's riding in the back SUV with his caregivers and the wife, Jean or whatever her name is, and her daughter Liberty are riding in the SUV up front or what, there's like two caravanning SUVs. They're not even riding together. He's like basically just declining in health, whatever, in a separate car so they don't have to sit with him. It's so disgusting. And they get
Well,
to
because he needs to be he still needs to be hooked up to all this shit, so he probably needed like he needed the caretakers in the other SUV and all these like machines too. Need like all this equipment needed to go with them.
ugh,
It's
get
so what the fuck? What the
you're
fuck are they thinking?
I don't know. Get a fucking tour bus then so you guys could all sit together cuz that's rude. You're just like taking a dementia patient out of the home and putting him in an SUV to go to Vegas? That's not right.
And
That's so
okay, and
wrong.
even if he was like, I just want to go to Vegas. I don't care what it takes. Please just take me to Vegas. You you can't just be like, sure thing, honey. Let's get in the car. Like you have to be like, I'm sorry. Like I love you and I love you so much that I don't want to harm you. Like there's no feasible way that we can do this and it be okay. Like
That's when you
like
pull a feel-good episode of 90s TV and you bring Vegas to him.
that's right.
That's what a good wife would do, but she's a
Yeah.
not good wife. She's a bad, shitty wife.
Yeah, she's like I thought she was like normal when I first started reading, and then the more I read, I was just like, nope, this is a bad person.
Oh God. Oh, I was gonna say anyone that thinks that her hair color looks good at the age she's at is
I was gonna
sorely
say
mistaken.
natural.
You were gonna what?
I was gonna say anyone that thinks it looks natural is
Oh, right.
sorely mistaken.
Uh,
Yeah, but enough ad hominem attacks on this woman.
um. So they go to
We'll
Las
let the
Vegas.
we'll let the whole story speak for itself.
Yeah, they go to Las Vegas. They're like, I mean, at least they stayed in the Vidara, which is like connected to the Aria. It's very swanky. It doesn't have a casino in it. So it's like more
Mm.
low key. So it's like, okay, maybe that's like the most relaxing place you could be in a place that's not very relaxing, but whatever. And they stay for 2 nights because that's how long you should stay in Las Vegas. So at least they
Yeah.
did that part right. No more than
Yeah.
2 nights. No more.
Well, yeah. It's not yeah, it's Vegas. This is so weird.
I wonder what they
It's
did
just
while they were
bizarre.
there.
I I
Like, he
can't
can't
even
go out.
imagine. I
He
can't
can't
even
leave the
imagine.
room. Yeah.
No.
Um, so, uh, okay, so they stayed there like 2 days, and then they they left again from Las Vegas, but this time they flew. And I don't know if like the whole staff of caregivers came. I would assume not, because someone had to go back. I don't know. I don't
Someone had
know.
to drive the SUVs
Yeah,
back.
I was gonna say someone had to make sure all the equipment got back to the convalescent home. Because I don't know that they took it with them, but
Who knows?
yeah, so they went to Seattle because that's where she grew up or something. She had some childhood friends that lived there, so they went and stayed with her childhood friends, which is weird to me. You have so much
So
money,
strange.
but you have so much money. Like, even if you were, I mean, it's all strange, but like, get a little rental or like stay by yourselves.
Also, like, who's the who? What friends? Like, yes, please bring your like very ill, like very elderly husband to my home. That's I'm assuming is not equipped to deal with like a
Yeah,
person who needs to have like intensive care. I don't know.
bring them to my home. You guys could stay on the pullout as long as you want. I'll roast a chicken.
Yeah,
It's gonna be great. Like,
you
what?
guys are not. You're not allergic to dogs, are you? Because I have three Rottweilers. Hope that's all right.
Oh, you could stay in our you could stay in our guest room, but that's also where the cat box is. I hope that's
Yeah.
not a problem.
I'll move it out into my bedroom, but just so you know, there might be a lingering smell.
Yeah. Oh God. Does he
Oh,
need medical
Jesus.
attention? Because I have 3 flights of stairs up to my apartment. So
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know if I'll make
it's
it.
a walk up. It's a
Yeah.
walk up. I don't have an elevator. Hope that's okay. Oh
Oh
my
God.
God,
So
dude.
they
What
go to
the fuck?
Seattle. Yeah, they go to Seattle. Then luckily this happens because they had been gone and the kids didn't know where they were still, because basically he had been broken out of the convalescent home. So the
Yeah.
kids are like, "Oh fuck, like dad's missing, Jean's crazy. File a missing persons report." So when they get to Seattle, they have to, cuz he's like so elderly and sick. He takes an ambulance from the airport to this friend's house where he's crashing for the weekend or whatever.
Oh my God.
And the ambulance people make a report, and they put elderly abuse. They saw signs of elderly abuse because it had been days without proper care. He was developing like ulcers, and they could see all these symptoms.
Yeah,
Whatever,
he
I
had like
don't
a
know how.
stage 3 or 4 like ulcer, like from
Yeah,
like a like bed sore.
yeah,
And like because he is bedridden, like he
yeah.
can't walk around, like he's man, this is just so crazy.
It's so crazy.
It's like she just like dragged him to 2 separate states
I know.
and like I don't know.
It's so crazy. Okay, so the ambulance driver's like, "This is fucked up." Files
Yeah.
a report because he has to. And it like pinged the system because the missing persons report was in there.
Yeah.
So, and when I say the system, I don't know what system, but it's just like a system.
The law.
Yeah, the law. It alerted the law. And so this is still kind of early-ish May. So like this all took, or like maybe mid-May, but this all took a little while, like for the system to be pinged. They notify Carrie, tell her what's up. She figures out where they are. She
Yeah.
like finally gets up there. In early June, she's like, she's still battling. She's like using this as evidence because it's all like hey, you went against the caregiver's advice. You fucking dragged him to Vegas. He was poorly taken care of by the time he got to Seattle. This all says, presenting it to a judge, I should be the conservator. I should have the conservatorship of my dad's estate and his health care, and she's unfit, essentially.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they're like, oh, you're right. They're like, you're right. Go for it, because this lady is crazy. And so she's awarded,
the law's like, go get him.
yeah, the law's like, we're gonna issue you this badge temporarily. You go ahead, you have authority over your father and all of his needs. So Carrie goes up to Seattle, and I have a game for you, because she storms into this fucking wherever they're holed up at her
in Seattle
at some friend's condo.
Fraser's penthouse.
They just put him in the old dad chair and
Yeah.
let him hang out there.
Okay.
Okay, so initially,
What's the game?
Okay, well, initially when I was thinking of this game, I was thinking they went to her childhood home, so these are more influenced by that, but it's still. So,
Okay.
Carrie went to Jean's childhood friend's home to get her dad back. What was the scene like? Was it A, Weekend at Bernie's, so he was all comatose and she was making him do the conga around the apartment, and then Carrie's like, oh my god, what the fuck? Or was it B, Toy Story, where Jean had dressed him up as Mrs. Nesbit, like Buzz Lightyear in Toy Story, and she's making him have a tea party with her childhood friend? Is it C, Jean threw some raw meat at Carrie and yelled, "In the name of King David," as she took her dad away? Or was it D, Silence of the Lambs, and Jean answered the door wearing Carrie's dad's skin, Casey Kasem's skin coat, a skin coat, like
a skin coat,
like a pea coat of skin.
I'm gonna go with C.
Yeah.
Jean ran out of the house throwing a pound of raw meat at Carrie, screaming, "In the name of King David!"
Ding 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 ding.
What the fuck is wrong with this crazy bitch?
I was like, when I read that, I was like, that's so fucking crazy. And then I was like, what would be crazier? And it was just many other things.
I think Weekend at Bernie's, I read an article where they kind of describe it as that. It's so fucked up.
Well, he's not dead yet here, but
he's not dead,
eventually
but
he dies, and what they do with his body is a mess.
Oh, yeah, comes later. But still, Jean is off the deep end here and is throwing raw meat at her stepdaughter and is just losing it.
Someone is just a little too obsessed with Bobby Trendy and watching the Ann and Nicole Smith show on E, and
I have not heard the name Bobby Trendy in a long time. Is it because, do you think it's representative of Jean thinking that the children are vultures, and so she's throwing her raw meat? That's only
deflecting their attention to the raw meat so she can
but
get him
just
back
being
in the house.
Just being so over the top, being like, "You're a vulture.
Ugh.
Fuck you in the name of King David." I don't know what the King David thing is. Well, Carrie ended up taking her dad anyway.
Yeah.
Despite the meat being thrown at her. And she took him to get actual care at a hospital, which he desperately needed, because he was suffering big time from this ulcer that had just completely gotten out of control. This bed sore that turned into an ulcer, and was infected. And so she takes him to the hospital, and he ends up dying 2 weeks later on June 15th, 2014.
And Jean never came to the hospital, never showed up.
Ugh.
And it was so sad. And everyone was sad. And then I feel like the drama died down for a hot second.
Well, because he was at peace finally. He wasn't being dragged all over the United States by Jean. And it was really sad. And I mean, this is like I'm trying to think of somebody equivalent, like it's like Dick Clark passing away. Like he's like that level of like well-known kind of status
Yeah.
of radio personality, I think. So
And
whereas Dick Clark was like TV, like,
yeah. Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. It
So people
was
were like sad about this, and it became a pretty big story.
yeah. Well, and then it
All the
becomes a
drama.
bigger story. Yeah, because so he's finally at peace. He's in the funeral home. They're making arrangements. They haven't heard from or seen of Gene in a few days, but even before that, 2 weeks before he died, before the whole meat thing went down,
Yeah.
and before the Seattle meat shower.
uh,
Are you laughing at my
but
face?
no, I'm laughing
Oh,
at the Seattle meat shower.
oh, thank you. I was like, I don't know how this is gonna go, and then I went, oh, oh, oh.
No,
Um.
it was funny.
Oh, good.
But yeah, they were like they wanted an autopsy done though.
Yeah.
While he was in the funeral home, they were trying to arrange that because you need to have like permission from the I think you have to have permission through the coroner to do it. You
Oh,
can't just
yeah.
like willy-nilly get an autopsy. Like you have to have like a reason for it.
Yeah, there
So
has
they
to
were
be
they
like
were
circumstances, extenuating
yeah.
circumstances or whatever.
So but they wanted to claim and they wanted to build this case against Jean uh against her for elderly abuse or elder
Yeah.
abuse.
Yeah.
So that's why they wanted an autopsy so they could get to the bottom of like how and why this he passed away in kind of the way that he did. I mean, he was old and everything, but like would he have died so soon if he was taken away from the care that he was receiving? Probably not. So
Yeah.
they just really wanted to nail Gene big time.
Yeah. So they're at the across from the funeral home, I think is like a police station or something.
Mhm.
So literally Carrie Kasem, his eldest daughter, is across the street getting a restraining order against Jean. I'm not exactly sure why. I don't know
Mhm.
how you could do that. Like maybe just because she was the conservator now and like I don't know exactly why.
Well, she probably was trying to do all kinds of stuff at the same time to protect like everybody from Gene at this point because
True.
like I would be afraid of this woman after she kidnaps my dad and then throws raw meat at me. Like, like she just it
Yeah.
seems like a very bad situation. So I would want to keep her out of my life
Yeah.
as much as possible.
Like
So,
something's off. So like
yeah.
you could sense it.
Like she's proven she's unstable.
Yeah. So while she's over across the street, Jean comes and like basically takes his body, Casey Kasem's body, and takes off. And
While Carrie's across the
while
street,
Carrie's across
literally.
the street, like get literally getting
Snatches
a restraining order.
she snatched his body.
Yeah, she's a body snatcher.
She's a body snatcher, dude.
A literal body snatcher.
She just took a dead body out of a funeral home and took him across the border to Canada.
I mean,
Unreal.
yeah, they went to Canada. I feel like if you were the funeral home director and like I don't know how this works. It blows my mind because I'm like, how does this even happen? Like, does she show up with a van? Is it like refrigerated, or
Yeah.
did she just like fucking rent a U-Haul earlier that day? Or I don't know what I just don't know. But then I'm like,
The logistics of this are so crazy.
who just like lets her go? Was she like, well, he's my husband and I want
Also, like you have to have a permit to
have a dead body?
yeah, to
Yeah.
move a body across state lines. Like you
Yeah.
can't just like willy-nilly
Yeah.
grab a body and just start driving around with it. That's some weekend at Bernie shit. That's like Little Miss Sunshine. Like
yeah.
it's so crazy.
Uh,
So I think she ended up taking his body to Canada. And they
yeah.
like post up in Canada for a while.
Yeah, they post up in Canada for a little while. This is when so when she took the body, that's when kind of I remember hearing about it cuz it a few months go by.
Because everybody's like, what the fucking fuck?
Yeah, like, I just remember hearing about it. I was listening to a lot of Howard Stern at the time, and since he's, like, a big radio person, obviously,
Yeah.
like, he was, like, so into this, and it was, like, just hearing, like, oh, and Casey Kasem, like, his body was taken. It's in Canada, reportedly. He still hasn't been laid to rest, and it became this whole thing, and they did, like, a bit that was pretty funny, and it was, like, a Casey Kasem impression that was, like, saying where he is and like the different parts that were decomposing, which is not it's like comedy isn't for everyone
Yeah,
sometimes.
it's
I
very
enjoyed
irreverent.
it. Yeah, I enjoyed it. But yeah, so like for real, they didn't embalm him or anything. Like she didn't have him preserved. He was basically
What were they?
just
Was he just
refrigerated.
Was he just packed in the snow in a fucking glacier in Canada? Like what the fuck?
Was he just like in a meat freezer, like at a butcher shop that she like
Yeah.
rented out? Who knows? I
Yeah.
don't know. But
The logistics, it's killing me. I can't.
Yeah.
I don't understand. What the fuck?
also like
She's just
Bitch
rolling
is
around with a
crazy.
dead body.
yeah, bitch is crazy. Why are you bringing a dead body around with you everywhere? Okay, like let's give her the benefit of the doubt. Maybe she just like loved him so much,
Yeah,
but
that's fine.
like, other people did too. And don't
This
be
isn't-
selfish, you crazy asshole.
This isn't Victoria fucking London. You can't just like be, embalming corpses and dragging them
Yeah.
around everywhere with you. You can't do that. Like
Well,
this is
Even worse, she didn't embalm him, so he's just like
uh,
disintegrating like you do,
ugh,
and it's just really sad. And
goddamn.
so finally, she doesn't bury him in Canada, like she claimed she wanted to. She goes to Norway, and in order
Oh,
to be,
goddamn.
yeah, fucking, he has no ties to Norway whatsoever.
He wanted to be buried in LA. He didn't even
yeah.
want that was like in his like will, I think.
Yeah, I think
And
so.
she just didn't care. She
Yeah.
just took him.
Or if it wasn't in his will, it was like people made statements about it.
Yeah, he had like had conversations about
Yeah.
it. Everybody like knew that was what was supposed to happen, but yet Jean's just like, I'm from Norway, and she's like not even from fucking Norway. she like lied about all this shit. She's just some run of the mill white bitch who
Wait,
I don't even know, but she lied.
can we read the letter she wrote?
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna. So, in order to be buried in Norway, you have to have Norwegian heritage. So she had to write a letter to the cemetery and like say that oh, I'm Norwegian or whatever, and blah blah blah. So she wrote the saddest, not even 2-paragraph letter. It looks like it's 2 paragraphs, but it's like not full paragraphs.
It's like triple spaced.
The margins
16
are huge.
Yeah, 16-point font. Yeah, the margins are like 3 inches.
It's Comic Sans.
Yeah, Comic Sans and papyrus.
Oh God.
Oh, Jesus.
So she's bolded parts of it too.
Oh, cool.
Okay, so this is literally this is the letter. Oh, P.S. This is linked on her Wikipedia page because it says she's of Norwegian descent, and then it uses this letter as the source of that tidbit of information. And I'm like, you can't fucking use someone's own fake letter as truth. I don't understand.
That is not ALA.
This is the letter. Dear Council, I hope today finds you all well. I would
Shut
Shut your trash mouth. I would like for my husband of 35 years to rest in peace in Norway. He always said that Norway symbolizes peace and looks like heaven, and I would like to respectfully fulfill his wishes. My heritage on my mother's side is Norwegian, and I plan to move to Norway by the end of this year. Therefore, I would also like to be near my husband's resting place so my daughter and I could visit with him often. With kind regards, Jeannie and Liberty. Jeannie.
You know what, Jeannie?
You know what? You're a weenie.
You're like just the worst. So is that where she is now? Is she in Norway?
I mean, I didn't find any evidence of it, so I'm guessing that's probably not where she's living.
But that's where Casey Kasem was and eventually buried, right?
Yeah, he's buried there. And
Ugh.
it's like an unmarked grave in like some tiny little Norwegian like cemetery, and I don't know. I'm sure there's probably I didn't get this far, but I'm sure there's probably like ongoing legal battles to like exhume him. And
Oh, yeah.
actually no, I don't think, maybe there is. I think I'm
You
mixing
know what?
what.
You know what? All that I hope is happening is that Jean is haunted by Casey Kasem. Like, I hope that she's being haunted by him
She
because
Yeah.
what an asshole.
Yeah, she's a
Like,
real
she
asshole.
just very
I
selfish.
Yeah, poor. I mean, he's dead, so he doesn't know. But that sucks for his kids. That like, the whole thing sucks. He died in a sad way, and that's sad. But everything after that didn't affect him, so whatever. But
Yeah.
like, his kids had to go through all that shit just to try and get him laid to rest closer to where they live, where they grew up. Whatever. I don't know, but it's just so horrible.
Well, what a horrible thing to go through. Like, your dad is his dead body is just being dragged around
Oh my
like
god.
North America and then
And
all
Europe.
this and Europe and like she like kind of shoehorned him into a graveyard in Oslo like
Yeah.
with a fake letter about like how she's part Norwegian. I don't like what
It's
a
so it's so weird to me. This is like the thought I have every day. Like, how does this happen? He's a high profile person. Like, obviously this woman is batshit crazy. They're like, and still the system fails.
yeah.
Like the true side. And that's where we are in
Well,
the world today,
the law is the law, I guess, and
I
she
guess.
really used it to her full advantage.
Well, once she like escaped to Canada,
Yeah, what
also
can you
it's like
do?
what the law can't do much. I mean,
They're also like, we have a lot of other more
yeah,
important things to worry about here.
they're like, we're sorry, but Ryan Seacrest is already filling in for him now, and there's not a lot of impact in the United States. So,
Oh my
um,
God, that's so sad.
our
What?
regards.
Oh, it's so sad.
Yeah, but I feel like she at so there's things like, why do we think Jean did this? I guess. Uh,
Aside from being a selfish, unstable person.
right. And I think she would already get like, she already has claim to his money because they're married, and in the state
Yeah.
of California, unless there's a prenup, you get it
Ha.
when they
Yeah.
die.
Or
Well,
yeah,
if you get
if
divorced,
you
yeah.
divorce, yeah. But
Um,
if when they die, you get well,
yeah.
depending on their will.
Well, I don't. But did he have a will? Because he didn't even have any of these plans laid out, and
I don't know.
and that's a good bit of information. Like, especially if you have kids, you need to have that on lockdown.
You need to have if you have children,
Yeah,
and you need to have life insurance and you need to have some sort of plan, some
yeah,
just very basic plan of what
yeah,
you want to have happen to your body and to your like stuff.
yeah,
Like cuz that's really hard for people to deal with. Like I mean, like especially like I don't know, just a normal person like with normal stuff with like
yeah.
clothes and like
Oh
like
yeah,
couple pieces of jewelry. This is a person with like an estate worth like over 80 million dollars like and like countless possessions like ugh,
it's
it's so
crazy.
overwhelming like and his children were just like what the fuck.
Yeah,
I don't know.
and yeah, it's sad. And
Maybe his children are terrible too though. I don't know, but it's
I
a
know I was wondering that too. I was like, oh, maybe they weren't very nice to him, or it just is very
but
suspect that he got dragged all around the world.
that's the thing. Even with if they were this terrible, like Jean could have like she had a lot of things on her side if she just would have like kept him where he was and
Yeah,
just and hired her own lawyers to be like his children are terrible or whatever
yeah,
and built her own case against them instead of literally dragging him out of a hospital in a very
yeah.
vulnerable state just doesn't look good on her part. So, I don't
No.
know.
Yeah. Well,
Well,
he
she
had $80 million. The $2 million life insurance policy. It was Carrie, his eldest daughter, hired a PI during this whole time, like from
Oh.
the time that they protested to through, like even before that, through till he was like buried. And the PI basically said she was having like Jean was having a years long affair. Yeah. And so I think maybe like the insurance policy, she wouldn't have gotten it or something. Like maybe that would have messed things up somehow.
Dude.
And yeah, I mean,
She's
money is a big
trash.
motivator. Yeah. Like her trash hair, someone has to pay to dye it. So, or light it on fire, which is what I would do.
I know. Oh, Lord.
It's
Wowie zowie.
All right.
What a terrible trash person who, oh my God, just really dragged a dead body around the world. And this, like, the whole thing took like 6 months for him to finally get buried, right? That's how how much time had passed.
Oh, he died in June, right?
Yeah. And then she buried him in, when was he buried?
Oh, I thought he got buried in August. It was like a few months, but it was during the summer.
Still, it was months.
Yeah, it was months. Summer months. Granted, they were in like Canada where it's cooler a little bit. Hi, Rob.
What's up, Rob?
I think he's the only person I know that listens that's from Canada.
We got some Canadian peeps, but yeah.
Oh, really? Oh.
I think so, but I don't. That's the only one I know.
Yeah. But yeah.
Crazy.
I know.
Poor Casey Kasem.
I know. This shit is crazy, but
I feel so bad for him.
yeah.
I hope that he's resting in peace and reaching for those stars.
Oh.
Yeah.
I hope his feet are planted firmly 6 feet underground and he's reaching for the stars.
From Oslo.
And he's reaching for the Norwegian stars.
Oh, poor guy.
I'm Casey Kasem. Yeah.
Oh, boy. Well, that's all I got on it.
Yeah, same.
What a wild tale.
Yeah.
I hope you guys enjoyed it, and look up some Casey Kasem clips. I think there's one where he like freaks out in the studio.
It's very good.
Yeah.
What does he say? I can't remember.
I don't know.
Oh, he's recording. It's like number one. It's like and on whatever 95.9, the number one. Your destination for number one pop music in Omaha or whatever. And they're like, he's like, I can't say that. How do I fucking know it's number one? Blah blah blah. It's like he gets really.
He's very principled. Yeah.
Yeah. He was probably tired.
Yeah, I know I would be if I had to like say the same thing over and over and over again.
For literally every somewhat major city in the United States.
Yeah,
Jesus.
he's like, I don't know if this is true.
Yeah.
It's pretty funny, actually.
Yeah.
Oh, God bless.
God
well, thanks for listening, guys. Follow us on social media, or social meds, if you will, on all the things, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, at DTFU Podcast. You can send us an email to dtfupodcast.com. That's our website. We also have a just separate email address. It's dtfupodcast@gmail.com. Yeah. You can order shirts on the website. You can learn more about Nicole and I.
You can click through to iTunes to rate, review, and subscribe.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. Learn about our Patreon.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, I have a video that they played during that high show last night that I think we should use for our commentary video.
For Patreon.
Yeah, for Patreon. So
cool. Awesome. That we'll be recording that stuff and posting that soon. So if you're a Patreon subscriber, we'll have some new content up in a few days. So
woo!
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, thanks again for listening, and keep your feet on the ground and keep your eyes on the stars. And be excellent to each other.
Okay,
Thank
good.
You.
Yeah. That's your sign off.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.